Now they always say you should start the day with a big brekkie, and have I got a big brekkie for you. This is my Mexican inspired scrambled eggs. It's almost like a take on nachos, but with cheesy scrambled eggs and a bean ragu to go with it. Now I'm just chopping up some onions, a Spanish onion. You could just use the classic brown onion. Now I'm heating my pan up over a medium to high heat, a good glug of olive oil, and then in with our onions and the chili. I like this to become really, really soft before I start adding in the beans. And look at these colors, vibrant colors. This is great for breakfast. Chili, green and red, and 1 capsicum. I'm using red, but of course you can mix it up and add some green. A little bit of garlic too, 1 clove of garlic that I'm just going to bruise and then finely chop. Now have a look at this coriander. It is stunning, and the roots are still on. There's so much flavour in the stalks and the roots, so I'll add a little bit of this to our sauce. And don't add the leaves yet, because this is going to be the garnish for our scrambled egg nachos. In it goes. Now I'll give this a really good stir, coating everything in that oil, and add a good pinch of salt and some freshly cracked pepper. And that is a delicious base for the sauce. Now for some spices, coriander and cumin, synonymous with Mexican food. Just a small amount. It is a breakfast dish, so you don't want to overpower it with a lot of spices. We've got enough chili in there to make this a very exciting brekkie. And this is softened up, so we can add the beans. So just some kidney beans, a half a can of kidney beans, or if you want to make a little bit more, use the whole can. Ensure that you drain them and rinse them really well. And to make this really saucy, some diced tomatoes. Now this is not going to take long, about 10 to 12 minutes, or until all the veggies are really soft and it's cooked down so it's a rich sauce. Lid goes on, turn it down, and when that's done, we can get onto the scrambled eggs. Let's have a look at this bean stew. Oh, perfect, thick and rich, smells fantastic, and all of those veggies have softened. So I'll turn the heat off now, and that's ready to go. For the eggs, 6 eggs, break up with your whisk and give it a really good whisk to mix up those egg whites and the egg yolks together. When I'm making my scrambled eggs at home, I love the addition of thick cream. This is going to make them really light and fluffy, just like clouds. And, as usual, a little pinch of salt. And if you're in the mood, a little freshly cracked pepper. Now the eggs are ready. I'm not going to do this until the last minute, because scrambled eggs take moments to cook, and I really want them to be just perfect on our nachos. We can now start melting the cheese on the tortilla strips. Get an oven-proof dish just like this one. A few big handfuls of the tortilla strips. I'm using white corn, but you could use yellow corn. And fill it up. Not all the way to the top, because we do need a little bit of room for the scrambled eggs and the bean stew. Spread it out evenly. And now for some cheese. I love the addition of cheddar cheese, but you could use mozzarella or manchego. Now this goes under the grill until the cheese is melted. Now that's not going to take long at all, so we can get the eggs on the heat. A non-stick frying pan is always best for this. And we'll put the heat on medium. You could add a little bit of butter if you like, but I'm going to keep it very simple with some olive oil, a thin layer of olive oil because this is non-stick. Swirl the oil in the pan and then in with the eggs. Now before you get too excited and start mixing the eggs, just allow it to set. See how it sets immediately around the side? Then we can start mixing and incorporating the set eggs into the center, and then allowing the wet liquid to settle too. So you'll see we almost have waves of fluffy scrambled eggs as we constantly stir and agitate the pan. Now at this stage you can see that there's a little bit of wet egg. This is perfect because by the time I get the eggs onto the tortilla strips, it's going to be cooked to perfection. Fantastic. fantastic. The cheese has melted and the tortilla strips are golden brown, making them extra crunchy. Now it's time to assemble, so we'll add some of our bean mixture over the top, scatter it around. I always like to spread this out, but still exposing some of the strips. And then we'll add our wonderful, perfectly cooked scrambled eggs to the top, putting them in little clumps. And then you can really have fun with lots of different toppings. You can add some more tomato if you like, some more cheese, or keep it really fresh and light with some avocado. And then I'm going to scatter that over the eggs. Look how wonderful these colours go together. And then the coriander, a few sprigs. I don't chop it up, I leave it whole. And for a little zing, freshly squeezed lime juice just over the top. And that is one serious brekkie. If you serve this to your friends, they're going to be so impressed at brunch. All we're waiting for is a little latte to go with it.